Hi, guys. Mark Gilliard here for AIM Country Music Television, and our guest is Don Mills, lead singer of Flatline Road. Flatline's very first show was a sold-out event, opening for the legendary David Allan Coe in 2018. These guys have gone on to cement their position in Texas country music. Listen for the distinctive vocals, the driving guitars, and the drums that propel it all right out to the edge of rock and roll. They're touring in support of their new EP with dates scheduled across Texas. They're playing all of their new material, but also diving into favorites from their previous releases. We're pleased to have Don Mills here to talk about their debut single from the EP of the same name, What's Your Story. Let's get him in here right now and talk about what might just be your new favorite song. Welcome, Don. How's your day going so far?
It is going fantastic, Mark. Thanks so much for letting me be on your show, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Well, thanks for joining us today. I think we should just jump right in with you taking a few minutes to introduce yourself and Flatline Road to those who may not know you yet.
Yeah, so we're kind of a new project. My name's Don Mills. I'm the lead vocalist, and I was the guy that came up with the crazy idea of taking 5 rock guys out of Dallas that are past the age of being angry and yelling at our moms, and we all have real jobs, and decided to give it a shot at playing more of a rock country kind of feel. And so I found a couple of guys that said they'd be willing to do it out of other rock bands here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And then we put the band together, and I was still playing in a rock band at the time. And so I had a show at a venue, and I called him and I said, hey, or he called me to tell me what time we were supposed to load in, what's our set time, what position in the show. And I said, hey, man, so I've got a new project I'm working on. It's kind of country, kind of rock thing. We haven't really figured it out. And he goes like, oh, really? When are you going to be ready? I'm like, I don't know, midsummer or something like that. And he goes, well, what's that? And I'm like, I don't know, Kevin, July, August, why? He goes, well, if you can get your stuff together, I've got a show July 3rd, and we'll put you on opening for David Allan Coe. Well, let me get on the phone. Let me see what we can do. So our very first opportunity of getting to play live in front of an audience, we're opening for David Allan Coe. And it's just kind of, we did it as a test. We told everybody, said, okay, guys, we're going to go up, we're going to play. If people start throwing tomatoes at us, then we're just going to walk away from it, and everybody go to their prospective projects or whatever they got to do. Ended up, there were 6 bands that night, and everybody was talking about how much fun they had while we were on stage. We only did 45 minutes or something like that. But we brought a lot of the rock energy and rock vibe because we're all seasoned, rock musicians. So for us getting up on stage playing a little bit of country, a little bit of rock, really wasn't that hard to do. And it's just kind of taken off a little bit from there.
How did you guys come up with that band name? Does that have a significance, or is this named after an actual road?
It just, I was out driving. Where was I going? I was on my way to Park Cities, Utah. And we were going through Monument Valley and stuff like that, looking at everything. And I saw just how flat the road was and just how cool, and way in the distance with the mountains and all. And it just had that center stripe line to it. And I'm like, you know what, this would be just a really cool band shot. If I had the guys with me, it'd be really cool to be able to put everybody out there on the road and the kind of angles upward and all that. And that'd be cool. And a friend of mine riding with me goes, yeah, man, that's totally flat. That's just a really cool flat line. And I'm like, Flatline Road. Like, dude, that sounds like a country band name. And he goes, yeah, I think it kind of does. And so that's where it came from, really. It was just a fluke idea. And I just thought the logo, when I came up with the idea of the logo, I thought it looked really kind of cool because it has a good rock element to it. It's got I don't know, really country element to it, but it's got a very blanket type of look that you don't know, like it could pass for a rock band, it could pass for a country band, it could pass for a blues band, gothic metal, probably not, which is okay, because you can actually read the name of the band, that's one thing those guys forget about.
Exactly.
But we've had a lot of fun with it. We've been making a couple of t-shirts with just the logo and the heartbeat for the A and all that stuff. And it seems to work really well. Everybody's bought onto the logo idea, and it's kind of become synonymous with what we are.
I know, listening to you guys, it sounds like a bunch of recovering rock and rollers as it is. So it's a really nice, clean, distinctive sound. I mean,
thank you.
To me, having the distinctive sound is the part that's kind of worth your time.
That's the hardest. Man, I'll tell you, that's the hardest part of it. No matter what music style you go to, whether it's rock, blue, jazz, hip hop, country, fusion, whatever it is, how do you stand out to everybody else doing the same thing? And I think that that's what we've heard a lot. Is a lot of people have said, when your guys' song's on radio, I know who it is immediately. So I'm like, well, that's a plus. Whether you like it or not, I think it's a plus.
That's right. Well, you're here to talk about your song, "What's Your Story?"
Mm-hmm.
What inspired that song? What's this song about? You write it as a band? Is this individual composition? How this come about?
The story behind the song "What's Your Story" is we write a little different than a lot of other artists. I've always been an actor, and I was a child actor, went through theater and all that stuff. I had a scholarship to college in acting. And improv was something that I really latched onto and really was able to focus on, and I became very good at it. And so I don't have like a big notebook here full of song lyrics and stuff. What I do is we walk into the jam room together. We play our songs that we have, we take a break, and then somebody starts playing a riff, and I'll be like, hey man, what's that riff? What are you doing? Like, I don't know, I just came up with it. I'm like, well, keep going on it. And so then I'll listen to it a little bit. The drummer will start jamming, our bassist will start jamming into it, the other guitar picks into it, and then I just start making up lyrics or whatever. And it hit me that day by some friends that were here in the office and stuff, that one of them made the comment to somebody that was new, so what's your story, bro? And he started going into who he is, what he was, and all of that. And I thought, wow, that's a really cool tagline. And so that day, we actually wrote that song and 3 others that same day. And it's just when we got to the chorus section that "What's Your Story" just popped in my head, and it just seemed to flow right with the music. So I went, okay, cool. Now I'm going to build the story around that. And so I'm the director of the music video. And so I'm always into backstories and stuff like that. So started with a chorus line and then just started building around it to taking it into a story that somebody's jetting off to Nashville or Hollywood or New York and going to leave everybody behind and, forget you guys. It's not going to, I'm going to go be a big star. Well, then they get there and find out that all the glitz and glamour is really a lot of dirt and dust. And so kind of see them on screen and whatever, and you can look them right in the eye and see they're not happy. And so it's kind of a, what is your story? Who are you really? Is really, it's not scripted, wrote with those type of lyrics, but it's kind of open for interpretation to everybody, which is the style I like to do, because real easy to write a beer glass song, right? And we come from the rock world, the 90s, you had no idea what they were talking about. And I love the 80s rock. That was my thing. And so, the first song to break into the 90s was named of a female's deodorant. I'm like, what? Why are we singing a song called Teen Spirit? I don't get it. But it's kind of, I like writing music that leaves interpretation. We have a new one we've just done, and I wrote it on the basis of leaving a town, and you've got a love that you left, and you think about it, always makes you smile, all this stuff. Well, I let one of my friends hear it. She cried up in tears, and I'm like, well, what's wrong? She goes, I can't believe she died. And I go, she didn't die. Well, it's what it makes me feel like. And I went, well, you know what? If that connects with you that way, then great, because that's going to be somebody you're going to remember. And it's always going to be a point that when you hear that song, it's going to bring that person back into your head. So I always love writing in the style of in the moment, by something that's happened to me, something that's happened to somebody else in the band, somebody that I've met in a grocery store, or, a gas station, or a story somebody was telling me about somebody of somebody of somebody. And I think it gives us an original approach to writing. May not be the right approach to a lot of people's liking, but it's so far has worked for us. And the people that come and see and hang out with us, they really enjoy it.
It's all very organic, and it came up with a really good song.
Thank you.
I'm ready to play it. What do you think?
I'd love for you to see this video, man. I had so much fun with this.
Let's do this. See what everybody else thinks about it. You're watching Flatline Road's video for "What's Your Story" on AIM Country Music Television.
All right, I've got the brand new single from Flatline Road called What's Your Story? You're hearing it first right here on KFLR.
What's your story? I remember what you said. I don't need you anymore. Big lots of calling out my name. I'm so tired of this game. I'm leaving. Can you hear me? But you're too damn loud, too damn proud. I can't walk away. What's your story? What's your story? Now I'm sitting here alone, watching you on my TV now. Yeah, they made you a star, your name in lights. I can see the tear in your eye. Are you crying? Do you need me? But you're too damn loud, too damn proud. I can't walk away. What's your story? What's your story? But you're too damn loud, too damn proud. I can't walk away. What's your story? What's your story? But you're too damn loud, too damn proud. I can't walk away. What's your story? What's your story? You're too damn loud, too damn proud. I can't walk away. What's your story? What's your story?
Dude, come on, man. Lunch is over.
Dude, you are not going to believe the dream I just had.
Don't want to hear it. Let's
Oh,
go.
man, it's insane.
I love this video. Fast cars, planes, motorcycles, on top of a great song. What's not to love? Oh, would you take a minute and just tell us about your video team, the videographer concept, the locations, actors? You said you directed it yourself. So, tell us about the background of this song.
Yeah, so I work in television production is my day job. So I'm contracted to shoot music videos for other artists and stuff. And so when it got time to do our music video, I didn't want to shoot the story of the song. I wanted to produce another story on top of it. So we have the story of the song going with the story of a video, which is totally completely different and don't match up to anything. And so I thought it'd be really cool to put the band in an airplane hangar. Well, it just so happens about 2 miles from my house is a small airfield of about 400 hangars. And I told my wife one day, I'm going to go up there and see if somebody will let me use their hangar. And my wife's like, so you're going to go somewhere you know nobody, you have no business in, and you think they're going to let you use a hanger. I'm like, I'm going to try. I'm going to see what can happen. So I drove over there, found a hanger that the door was open. A couple other doors were open. I'm like, oh, okay. So if the door's open, I can just kind of walk in and see what's happening. And found a guy that said he'd be interested in letting us use his hanger. So I'm like, cool. So then if I'm like an airplane mechanic kind of works to be in the hanger deal, why don't I see if I can find us a cool airplane? Well, it turned out there was a hangar open with that red and silver airplane that's in the video. And I'm like, wow, this is video quality airplane that's in like a Cessna or a Piper Cub or whatever, but this has got some style to it. And this is exactly, I think, what I want. So I sat and walked in. There was a guy in there, he was working on it. And I'm like, hey man, is this your plane? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, cool. I'm here doing a music video and I'd like to talk to you about using your airplane. So when he goes, really? And I said, yeah. He goes, what kind of beer do you drink? And I said, Miller Lite. He goes, okay, well, let's have a seat. Well, then I looked up on his wall and there's this giant 12-foot, 15-foot long banner that says, amazing Stephen Grace, congratulations on retirement for American Airlines. So I'm like, oh, you're American Airlines pilot. He goes, yeah. Well, that's funny. Both my parents work for American Airlines. So he's like, this is getting weird. So we sat down with started over beers and started going through the video, started talking about ideas. And he said, well, I'm a former Apache, A-10 Warthog instructor pilot for the U.S. Army, and I fly stunt airplanes and air shows. Okay, that's cool. So would you be cool if I fake like I'm working on your airplane? He goes, yeah, but every good mechanic has to test his work. I said, okay. So you're saying we can crank your airplane? And he goes, yeah, we can definitely crank my airplane. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I'm good with that, man. That's great. And he goes, we still got techs at work. All right, Steve, what are you saying? Are we going to fly or what? Let's do it. He goes, well, heck yeah, we're going to fly. We're going to do loops. We're going to do barrel rolls and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I hit the jackpot on this.
That's great.
Yeah. So he goes, so you want to go to my other hangar and see what else I got? And I'm like, oh, of course, you have 2 hangars. Of course you do. Sitting back there was a 1968 Shelby Cobra. And I'm like, he goes, can you use this in the video? And I'm like, I'm going to figure out a way.
Yeah.
And so then another guy over there had the Ferrari and we were able to use that and called a couple of my friends that are beautiful models and asked them if they want to be a part of it. So the concept is I'm an airplane mechanic. I fall asleep. I wake up. Now all of a sudden I'm getting to play in the toys that I get to work on. And all the guys that are in my band is part of that life. And then at the end of the video, I wake up and I'm just an airplane mechanic, just kind of
mechanic.
Yeah, just a mechanic, you know. And so everybody always asks 2 things. Number one is, are we pilots? No, we did not fly. It's a 2-seater stunt airplane. So we sat in the back seat and let the men who knew what they were doing do what they do. And no, that is not Peter Dinkler in the video. That is a friend of mine here in Fort Worth, a little person, that buddy of mine that looks just like him. And so those are the 2 biggest comments, other than this thing is fun and it's crazy. And it took us 3 days to shoot it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty involved. I was really impressed with all the flying, but I still had this twinge that it was just stock footage somewhere. Not that it yeah, it's pretty great how that worked out to be a really nice thing to throw into that hangar, didn't it?
Yeah, it worked out great. So I came back from the 4-hour meeting, half drunk, and my wife looking at me, and I'm like, I got 2 hangars, 3 stunt airplanes, a Cobra, Ferrari, and a little man in my video, and 2 hot chicks. I got it all. And my wife's like, if there's one person that can go somewhere they do not belong and get all this opportunity, it's definitely you. So I call it a God thing, really. I really believe it was God in his moment. And that video just won a television award for production excellence called the Telly Award. And we just got the information about a month ago that won for last year's production work. So it made me feel good that something that I did out away from the company and on my own crazy idea and make it work. And it, won a couple of awards. So that's kind of cool.
What production company do you work for?
So I work for a production company, which is also a television network called the Country Network. And we are under new management, just picked up in May, and we're changing format of television. Right now, it plays a lot of music videos. Of country artists, of new artists. It's kind of a discovery platform artist. platform. But we also are producing our own original programming to go on there. We've always done that, but we're changing up kind of what we're doing. One of our shows that are coming out soon, try that again. One of our shows that's coming out soon is a show that we have shot down in Alabama called Alabama Shine. And of course, it's about moonshine. But our very first episode, we have a very special guest. Nashville recording artist Jelly Roll is actually on the show with us. So it's kind of cool to have one of these new guys that's really rising up the charts and stuff being involved in it.
Well, that's fantastic. We'll have to look that up.
It'll be coming out, I believe, in September. I have to get back to you on that date, and I'll make sure to get it to you and get you a link so you can share that if you like. But
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll all want to check that out.
it's going to be pretty cool. We have so much fun here, and I get to direct music videos for artists. So I get to listen to their songs, write an idea of what I think the song, how to interpret it, send it back. And if they approve, we're off to the races. One of the biggest honors I got was I got to concept, direct, and edit Charlie Pride's last music video.
We have that one. I love that one. That was a good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Standing in My Way was the name of the songs. Yeah, so it was fun, but Flatline Road's moving, kicking up. We just working out a deal here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that this restaurant bar has about 15 locations throughout Texas. And we just signed up a deal with them that we're going to start appearing at their various locations throughout Texas every 6 to 8 weeks, something to that effect.
Very nice. Well, let's wrap this up with you telling us where to find you, Flatline Road, your music, and where we can see a live show.
Great, man. So all of our music is obviously on the Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, all of that. It's a lot of fun to go into friends' houses that have Alexa, and I go, "Hey, Alexa, play Flatline Road. What's your story?" And then boom, she kicks it right up. It impresses them. It's fun.
I'm trying that as soon as I get off here.
Yeah, please do try it. It's a lot of fun. And then right now we've got a lot of work to do on our social media side. We've kind of had to we did change of the guards in the band. Some guys decided they wanted to go do their own thing, and so I got 2 new guitar players, and we kind of had a slow restart, but we're getting back up and running. We do have a webpage, flatlineroad.com, but it hasn't been updated in it yet, so we're going to be working on that. Facebook and Instagram really is the best places to find us right now and interact with us. I'd love for you guys to say hello to us. Go on Facebook, just look up Flatline Road. We'll pop up very first thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, Don. It's been a blast visiting today.
I really appreciate the opportunity, Mark. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Don Mills of Flatline Road.
Thank you, guys.
So what do you guys think? Is What's Your Story going to be your new favorite song? This has been Mark Gilliott for AIM Country Music Television. Thank you for watching.